Going for 3-0. Welcome to Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes. This is Grand Arena, the final match of Week 1, Season 73. Creeping closer to Kyber 1. The last round, though, was an auto win. Actually, both round 1 and round 2 were basically gimmies. You can see here with Vampirus, he did 2 attacks. He cleared Rey, and then with Ahsoka and the Tank Kron, Ahsoka survived, and then he couldn't clear. And then from there, he gave up. But this was a 6 GL player. I was fairly confident he had 0 shot up against my defense. He just doesn't have enough counters. Today's opponent is Bartolomeus, 13.6 million GP, so 400k more than me, more Zetas. Ami's though, 18 less, 10 GLs, and then he has a couple more relics. We're actually fairly even. He's got some advantages, I've got some advantages, but we're pretty close to each other when it comes to that relic tier total. He's at 1630, so he's got 100 more than me, well 95 more than me, and then he has most of those in. He's got some tier 9s, but a lot of them are tier 7. That's where the bulk of the difference is. So that's not at a level where we're going to have to worry too much about Relic Delta. With the 6-dot mods, he has more, but just barely. He's got a better average, and you can see that his modding is extremely good. He's actually beating me in 2 of these. I'm only beating him in the 15 plus count, but not by much at all. What really is going to matter is Datacrons. His participation is minimal. It's one of the lower ones in the bracket, but close to the middle. With the modding, you can see that he's got the advantage in most of these characters. And we have a 299 triple Ami Melgus. We got a single Star Killer. We got a single on Afra. Then a double Swallow, triple Malicos, single Third Sister, double Baudelaire, double Bane, doubles on Cadme and Jar Jar, then singles on Jocasta and Luthen. Then we got a single on Exile, triples on Dre, double Balin, no Zalbar. So he's got most of the key ones, but he's a little light in a few places. I think that's solidly in my favor. Looking at the quality of that modding, we're looking for that Melgus at 299 speed. Organize this real quick and take a look. I imagine it's going to be pretty strong. Go down here. Okay, Starkiller was lower, so we missed Melgus somewhere. Oh, right there. Gets him at 71 characters, which is right in line with me. I'm probably like 68, 69, something in that range. So we're pretty close. His modding looks pretty good. Nothing's like super egregious. There's a couple characters down here that are a little slower that I think should be faster. And I'm sure there's characters here that don't need, like Grief Karga, worthy, but we don't really use these days, so he doesn't need to be that fast. Staps shouldn't be that fast. There's a few that just probably just old modding, but are not as important to have at these levels, like Dash, not that important. So there's some reallocation that's possible, but nothing like, it doesn't really matter. That's just another metric where we're fairly even. My defense is untouched, but I'll be re-rolling some of these stats so that for next week some of these crons are a little bit more optimized for the characters and squads to use them. But we haven't really been tested yet this season or this week. Opponents not super engaged, and that's just kind of in that middle of Kyber 2 zone. So we got Lord Vader with, I imagine, attacker. Yeah, the right attacker cron. Oops. So we also have Rey in there, Jedi Master Mace. Which Jocasta is this? So, okay. Forget if it's on the special or the unique, doesn't really matter. And then we are looking at Maz and Rey. Actually, it does matter. Is it the one that takes down the health to a single? Is it that, or that's that one, right? Or is it one of the... I need to look at like my characters or something. I don't want to decipher this right now. And then Maz Kanata. Need to be a little careful, but not too big of a deal. Doesn't have a level 9 crown on one of the pirates. We got Pirate Hondo, SLKR. It's really... I think that Lord Vader's the one I'm most concerned about. We can handle most of these without too much of an issue. We'll begin with Pirate Hondo. I'm going to do Unaligned Force users. This has been great with the attacker cron. So Sirjunda, Malicos, Cal, Starkiller, and Maul. We'll do an attacker Kron. Did I have a preference on what? I think I'll take this one with the crit damage and armor penetration. The potency is fine. Let's go big screen. Equip looks good. No mistakes. Let's see how this goes. Because otherwise we'd have to use SLKR here, which I have not felt has been as reliable as I want it to be. Alright. Okay, so he's got the ultimate. A little bit of countering. I don't really feel like this squad needs 2 tanks. I like to throw Quaigold with Maz. Okay, and we took out one already. Let's blow up Vayne. This should be it. Okay, and this should probably take out Quaigold. Yep. Blow up Hondo. Awesome. I've just been loving this counter. We can auto from here. One thing that I'm thinking about doing today is I was listening to one of the Rewatchables podcasts, just a movie podcast about rewatchable movies. And it was for one of the hosts' most rewatched movies in the first 25 years of the century. And it got me thinking about what were mine. What movies have I watched the most? Whoa, 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 whoa. Do I need to step in here? Okay. I don't know how we lost Malicos. I was just assuming at that advantage, my Malicos would be fine. We might rewatch that footage and see what happened because I was not paying attention. Alright, this is going to be Bane. We'll just have Bane blow up SLKR. That's what we've been doing. I'm pretty sure that's what we've been doing. Do another attacker Kron with Vader. Alright. This is pretty automatic. At least it has been the first 2 matches. Alright. Oh, it's not even TIE Fighter pilot. Who's it on? Oh, it's the SOKR one? Okay. Let's go into this mode. Okay, let's throw down more dots. And we'll AoE. This is the first time the level 9 aspects of this Vader Kron have shown up in this battle. The other ones we had already won earlier, faster. So I couldn't really see it in effect, which is interesting. Let's do it. I'm gonna go with the ability block. Now let's do dots. And we'll siphon. Increase cooldowns. But with the ability block landing, it's not really that big of a deal. He's been largely neutralized except for that ultimate. I think I'm at a level with my Amis where I'm going to add that final Ami to Bane so he can... Oh, I should have done that. That right there is... I should have done the ability block. Yeah, so as I was saying, I'm thinking about adding that final Ami to Bane so that he can stack up his siphon faster. Alright. What have I been doing with Trench? Was that Trey or Gungans? How have I been doing that? Let's head up top. So I have to do Rolo here, because I can't do Seer Junda. I guess I could do SLKR. Let's think about Lord Vader. Let's take a look at Vader. So what I want to do is the Mandalorians, but every time that I've done this so far, I've been facing an inferior Kron. But I think this is worth making sure that the attacker Kron is still going to let me win. Crit damage, armor penetration. We don't really have a choice, it's the best one. Who the hell was I intending this for? Because I definitely rerolled those stats. I just don't remember. Okay. Looks good. I don't have a lot of confidence that this is still going to work. I just feel like I've been beating weaker ones. Because they just took out Bo right there. So we have no more... Yeah, okay. So a rough start. I'm gonna go with a shred. Yeah, like we're about to lose my friend. Yeah, see, I felt like we haven't faced the attacker Kron. We haven't gone attacker Kron yet. So we won't be doing that again, but I wanted to know. So the question becomes, is SLKR or Leia superior here? I'm gonna go SLKR because I'm confident. Yeah, we're going SLKR. It's just I have a lot of respect for this attacker Kron, and I don't know. Let's get retribution. We got days on everybody. Okay. I'm gonna stun him. Just want to control the board. Oh, we're gonna lose Hux, which is fine. Awesome, RE to the ultimate. Okay, so shocks. It's AoE. Awesome. Awesome. Back to the ultimate. Swipe should take out CX and Scorch. Maybe not. Let's just do one of these right now. What? This is one tanky boy. All right. Okay, so we can feel good about that one. Now we have Ray. This is gonna be. This is not a concerning Ray team. It's got an unlined force user Kron. We can do this Jin version. Let's see here. Tank. Sure. Oh, is that the one I had for JML though? This might be JML's. I've been talking about making a key for myself so I could keep this straight, but I haven't done it yet. All right, blow her up. Yes. All right. Let's do stealth. Throw the attacks over onto Jin where they can't do anything. Now let's start triggering these damage immunities. One there. Do Ahsoka's in a second. This should do Ahsoka. Now we'll trigger Kenobi's. And then we'll start stunning people and trying to get our fine. Okay, come on. Can we get rid of the inspired? Fine. Alright, let's try and trigger Kenobi. There we go. Kenobi is triggered and stunned. Now we need to trigger Rey, but we'll try and stun Swallow. Okay. There we go. Alright, Ahsoka's off the board. Can we get Kenobi? Alright, now let's try and land ambush onto Rey. Okay, we're good. We're done. Oops. Alright, Maz Kanata, we can JML. Got Jedi Master Mace Windu, who we can Melgus, or is Melgus on defense? And then Iden, I don't know if I've even faced the Iden Kron yet. Okay. So let's do Gungans. Otherwise, there's just not really a purpose or use for Gungans anymore. It really makes Trench kind of useless on defense. Well, I want my presets. It unfortunately makes Trench useless on defense, which I have liked having over there for quite a long time. Because he's tripped up a lot of opponents. But the fact that Gungan's just, with the Kron, completely neutralized Trench. Man. It's disappointing. Because it just means Gungans are going to be dedicated for this specific purpose, because there's no other reason. There's no other good way to use them. Okay, so Trench wasting the revive. Not Trench, Watt wasting the revive. So we don't need to worry about Watt coming back quickly. Let's go debuffs. Awesome. Let's knock out Watt before we have to worry about him. We need to slow down because we got that damage immunity on Django. We just need to give Django his opportunities. There we go. Alright, let's auto. Yeah, so I was saying, thinking through the movies that I have rewatched the most in the past 25 years. So from 2001 till now. 2000 doesn't count. Now that naturally favors movies that came out the longer that they've been out. And I was tracking through some of this. Where did I write this down? And I didn't get to 25 movies. I wanted to, but we very quickly start getting into movies that I've watched like twice, or I don't actually really like, but I've kind of watched a few times. I got to more like 15. And I think we're going to go through that. And then there's the issue that there's a number of movies that, like in the 2000s, I watched a lot, but I actually don't watch anymore and don't really like anymore. Alright, Iden. Well, how do we want to deal with Iden? Really, I think we need to address the Jedi Master Mace Windu situation. And Maz. Actually, I want to see that back wall. Because we're going to do like Melgus and Jamo. That should be fine. And here, if I can do Treya. That puts me in a decent spot. Where were you at? There. No. And then I guess support. See, I definitely rerolled these crons for specific people. I just don't remember who they are. All that health was definitely for a character that uses protection up. Okay. Oh, I forgot that's what this cron does, doesn't it? Okay. Let's increase cooldowns. Now as they attack. Okay, we got one in the yellow. But I should be able to, like, I can annihilate her and her not come back, right? Because she comes back from that. Okay, but she's not taunting anymore, so I can focus on other people. So we can take out Shore. If he could do any damage, we could take out Shore. So now you got the taunt back. But this prevents Reva, so she should be gone. Yeah, okay. Alright. Held by hatred. I should have saved that because range could do his thing. Alright, we're good. Alright, let's check out this back wall. Alright, we have Ahsoka. And I don't have Bane anymore. How am I dealing with Ahsoka? I was not anticipating Ahsoka, because we don't have Leia anymore, which is usually my go-to Ahsoka counter. Alright, I gotta think. I kind of got myself into trouble here. I should have scouted. Because I've used all the Ahsoka counters. And I didn't need to use Bane up against SLKR. So how else would I deal with this? And is it a good tank run? No. So could I punch through with you with just a bunch of GLs? We still have a lot. I mean, it's my only option. Let's just clear everything else and then throw everything at her. Because here, this is Melgus. You and you. That feels like a cron that I had intended for Melgus. So I think this is an appropriate choice. Alright, let's drop a dart. Oh, come on, man. Did I have blind? I always forget to pay attention to if I have blind on. So they're doing that. Why did I grab Malik? Oh my god. This is why I have to do the presets. Not having Malik is actually a big mistake. Oh my god. Because Jocasta is going to hurt me. Well, it's not ideal if she doesn't go after one of the tanks, which is one of the reasons we needed Malik. Malik would have kept some people alive. Oh my god, I can't believe that. I always do like one of these a match, where I just neglect to use a preset and we put in the wrong squad. I'm so tempted to hit a different character, but I know this the. Oh my god! Did it again. Alright, fine. Oh, and it's not okay. It's not that one. We're fine. If we had Malik, everyone would still be alive. And Temple Guard would likely be dead already. We're gonna time out before I can do anything. I don't think they can take me out. Okay, no blind. Oh my god, we can't even do any damage. Alright, I'm just gonna auto. So frustrated with myself right now. Alright, I'm taking over. Because I think I have another moment to do Dark Deception. And I'm just kind of hoping I can do it to somebody else and actually do damage to somebody. No. And you have blind, so let's just do a basic. And he still has blind. The basic wasn't... Okay. Alright, we finally died. And victim of a mess of my own making again. We just have to use, like, set the Eternal Emperor. Where? We don't have Watt or... Oh, you know what? We have Malik. We do have Malik. Do I want to use Palpatine? Doesn't matter. Yeah, what was I talking about? I was talking about movies. I was going to talk about the movies that I have been watching in the past 20 years. The most watched movies. Roughly in the order that I actually think I have watched these movies the most. Let's see here. Okay, everyone's still alive. We gotta relink people. Jocasta's gonna hurt somebody. So maybe we should try and take her out before she hurts somebody. Okay. This was auto. Yeah, so number one I think is... Should I do that? What order? Maybe we should do this in a reverse order. Or maybe we'll do like honorable mentions and then like... Well, I've got more than... I'm still thinking about how I want to do this. I think we're just going to run off the names. This is not prepared enough to that degree. No, we're going to do a rough back order. But in the back, it's not so much of an order. Okay, let's see. We got... Is there another way we can approach Maz, though? Not really. Everything else is on defense. Do I have Night Sisters? Oops. Oh. Oh. Then I don't need to use JMO. But then again, I mean, I know it was crown related, but the Night Sisters' Great Mother did decent up against Maz last season. Now, we probably can't recreate that without a crown, but could we make progress with Great Mother? And JML's not very good up against Ahsoka, so maybe we don't want to use JML anyway. I think we're going to use JML, because JML's terrible up against Ahsoka. I gave you somebody else's. I gave your crown to somebody else. Okay, so I think there's movies like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I used to watch that a lot when it first came out. Also, maybe I need to double check the date on the movie. But yeah, so Eternal Sunshine, I've watched that a bunch when it originally came out. So that's probably on the list if we went like 15 to 25 deep. There's also Amelie, which is in the same bucket, where it's a movie I watched a lot back then. But that movie might be in 2000. It might be 2001, if it qualifies. I'm not certain it qualifies. But that is another movie which I probably haven't watched in 20 years, but I watched a whole bunch back then. And so I was also at the right age to be like watching some of these movies a ton. So those movies are in that zone, but they're like hangers on because they just haven't been pushed off by other movies. Because if I'm in the mood to rewatch a movie, it's either older or if it's in the qualifiers, there's not that many of them that fit the parameters. Okay, let's see here. And then, okay, that's taken care of. Then I think Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2, though, is another one of these where I watched it a whole bunch when it came out. I haven't watched it probably in 20 years. Sounds about right. Maybe it's more like 18 years. Really, since Marvel got going on and we had more high-quality superhero movies, I have not returned to the Spider-Man movies. Plus, Spider-Man 3 really soured me on it. Where I haven't watched it as much since, but I watched it a whole bunch when it first was out. Okay. Oh my god. Really? An old school Night Sister Marin team? I haven't seen this in forever. And Saw. Alright, what kind of crons? Because I could use gas on either of these. But so, you know what? It's a bad cron. Can I blow this up with CLS right now? God, I want to. Although there is a lower chance on this. This could blow up in my face. And would I rather an attacker cron? Or do I just use the CLS cron? I think we just go with CLS. I'm gambling with it. Because this isn't like the best version of this. Alright, I want to ignore taunt, so let's do that. Can we just take out Saw before he does anything? Come on. Here we go. That's annoying. AoE, we're going to go with the AoE. I want to take out Saw. Awesome. Perfect. Alright, we're going to use gas now for Night Sisters. We just let off, 3 movies? Okay, then after that, I think it's Shaun of the Dead. I've watched that movie a ton. It's my favorite of those movies, mainly more probably because I like zombie movies. Even though I think you could make an argument for like Hot Fuzz. I've watched Hot Fuzz a whole lot too. Like if we went deeper than like 15 movies, Hot Fuzz would probably be making the list. Alright, what was I doing? I've now distracted myself with this topic, or I'm not keeping track. Well, it doesn't matter. This is an automatic team and there's no Datacron. I'm not even use. I don't even want to use an Attackacron. I just. Is there something weak I can give you? Let's just do this. Okay. And again, this is a list of movies I've watched the most. This is not necessarily what I think is the best. The problem is, a lot of movies I think that are the best, I haven't watched that many times. Like, probably my favorite movie of the past 25 years is probably There Will Be Blood, and I don't think it's close. I've only watched it twice. It's just a longer, heavier movie, so you can see, like, that's why this is not a reflection of quality. And then Superbad is on the list. I've watched Superbad a bunch. I think it's probably my most watched high school movie. The most recent, most watched high school movie. Then that was a little late, but it's just so good and funny. I think it's Hell or High Water. No, you know what? I think it's Wind River. I watched Wind River like 5 times in a row when I first watched it. Haven't watched it as much since, but I thought it was fantastic. It's just some of these Taylor Sheridan movies. It's Wind River or Hell or High Water I've watched the most, although I really like Sicario, but Sicario would be deeper on the list. I've only watched it maybe 3 times. And what do we want to go with here? I'm thinking, like, I'm understanding why Great Mother wouldn't be a great option. Maybe we can soften them up, though. I guess, what's the version of the team that I would want? There's an argument here for Spirit, but my Spirit's only Relic 3 is gonna die quick, and I think Asajj with the Ami is gonna add some stats, which is why I'm thinking it. I'm thinking also Tank. Although the Tank Cron is somewhat negated by the team, because we're not gonna have a revive. While taunting or recovering when I'm critically hit. Tank allies assist if the enemy was... whenever a non-tank ally uses special, tank allies assist. We're going to use... I just like it for the assist, because that means we might be able to burn through some of these other characters quicker. We have to ignore Exile. So let's Doom Sabine. Now next up, I think it's the Dark Knight. But that Dark Knight's another one that I actually haven't watched it in quite a while. But I did watch it a bunch when it came out. Okay. We didn't get to use a special there. No, let's go back to the Doomed character. But we have to deal with this taunt. Come on. We're not taunting though, and I'm gonna die. Maybe we should have blessed somebody else. We'll do an AoE, which was a bad idea. Okay, that was a terrible idea. Alright, it's over. Yeah, let's forfeit that. Okay. I was I didn't think it was going to work. I just thought we could soften them up. Let's go Lord Vader. I'm just concerned. My concern about Lord Vader is if this doesn't work, I think we're in trouble. So I wanted to I was hoping to set him up for an easier match. Next, we have a newer movie, a more recent movie, Map of Tiny Perfect Things. It is a time loop movie, and I am a sucker for time loop movies, and I like it quite a bit. I've watched it a whole bunch. It's written by the guy who wrote the book series for The Magicians, which is a fantastic TV show. It's a very charming and smart movie that gets better the more you watch it. And following up with that, it's Ocean's 11. Love Ocean's 11. I love a Soderbergh movie. I love a Soderbergh heist movie. And that one, though, is just the prototype of it. Let's AoE. I don't even know how I want to play this. It's only 6 dots, so we couldn't turn that into a... Okay. I need to get Order 66 onto somebody I can take out. I need to change the mods so that they take turns in a different order, because it was an issue that I didn't have 8 stacks onto Sabine when it was his turn. Okay, we can do it now though. Okay, now Order 66 on Sabine. And I am hoping that the attacker cron is just going to boost us up to a point where we win this. Okay. There we go. Sabine down. Perfect. Let's throw attacks elsewhere. Preferably not on exile because we can't get any assists. I'm gonna wait a turn. I want the cooldown in a different spot. I think I'm also playing this too slow. Okay. I think it's good we waited, because dots are gone. I don't want the dots gone. Alright, ultimate, ability blocks, days, dots. Okay, come on. I don't like that. Come on. Alright. Syndulla's down. Let's do an AoE. Yeah, you know what? Let's work on getting... Okay, good. Exile's out of here. I think we're good. Okay, next up, after Ocean's 11, we're looking at Edge of Tomorrow. I think it's a testament to how much I've seen Edge of Tomorrow for it to be another recent movie that I have watched this many times. Because we're about to start entering a range of movies where the gap between like Edge of Tomorrow and the next several movies is massive. Like Edge of Tomorrow, I may have watched 6 or 7 times. The next movie, we're getting to the 10 plus range. And next, it is the Royal Tenenbaums. Fantastic. Oh, I gotta actually be playing this. We're running out of time. I need to auto, but I want to manage. Okay, here we go. Okay, so Royal Tenenbaums. I actually have watched Rushmore way more than Royal Tenenbaums. Like when I was in college, Rushmore was one of the movies that, like, when I was eating a meal, I would put on. There's like 3 movies I would put on while I was eating in my apartment, and Rushmore was in the rotation. But Royal Tenenbaums of the post 2001 vintage of Wes Anderson movies, no contest. I've watched that one more than the others. All right, we can clean this up. And what I've heard here is that the new Bad Batch beats this, or can clean it up. So let's do it. I want to experience it. What do we want? Only 2 support characters, 1 tank. What are we with attackers now? Got 2 attackers. Dispel all buffs on enemies. I don't like it. Versus this. I think we're gonna go attacker. Basic, get that target. So we're probably just gonna get a whole bunch of these stacks, right? We're gonna work 3, now at 9, 12. I'm gonna call an assist instead of the attack. Let's. Okay. But now we have lost a bunch of health. Or no, we're captive. We're captive. So I'm gonna basic. So am I gonna die if I do some of this stuff? Yeah, so next up we got margin call. Margin call is one of those, like, if the YouTube algorithm throws me a clip of margin call, that is enough to trigger another rewatch of that movie. I love that movie. The kind of like dry procedural, I love a dry procedural, and that is one of my favorite recent dry procedurals. That movie, it's just about a Is it a hedge fund? It's just a stock trading floor at a like investment bank or something during the financial crisis, and them finding out during the evening that they're over leveraged and trying to figure it out. Great movie, great script, love it. And in the theme of a heist movie, my most watched heist movie. How are we doing this? This is easy. This is straightforward. Let's just do profundity here. Wait. Let's think about it. If I do profundity here, does that... You know what? I think I've been in this situation before, and I prefer doing endurance here. And I can't find my notes, so we're going in blind. Where are those? This is the consequences of cleaning. Okay. So we take those hits. Now, we need to remember what to do. I believe it's a basic. And we are going to taunt. Keep Rex alive a little bit longer, or did I want Valor? I think it was taunt on Rex. And this is a basic. I think it's a whole bunch of basics. And it is Ebon Hawk. Sometimes I bring out Anakin because they've already got the contract off, but that hasn't happened now, so let's do a basic. I'm pretty sure it's a basic. This is going more to how it's supposed to. Basic. I'm gonna basic it, but it's gonna get rid of the taunt, and that means we have to hit Slave 1, which I'm not crazy about. Oh, but now we can dispel. Let's do that. Let's dispel. I'm gonna special. I want the target lock on him. Oh, then he does that. Fine. Alright, we bring out Anakin. I'm gonna AoE. Ebon Hawk gone. Awesome. Now he's gone. Down. Alright, we're good. Now the reason I did this, even though it's harder and RNG dependent, is beating the negotiator doesn't always go to plan. If you bring in the Chimera, that counter, or not the Chimera, you bring in the Executrix, or no, it is the Chimera. It's the Chimera with Scythe. That is RNG dependent. Using any other counter is RNG dependent. And I've actually gotten myself in trouble doing it. Now I just bring in the profundity and we easily win it, and it's fine, and I don't have to think about it. Okay, anyway, I was talking, we're into like the final stretch now. Heist movie, Inside Man. Denzel, Spike Lee, it's fantastic. It's not as like smart as a lot of Spike Lee movies are. Like, it's definitely not as deep and as interesting. It's just good. It's just a really fun, well-made, good heist movie, and I love it. I've watched it a ton. And next up we got Moneyball. Moneyball just falls into that perfect zone of well acted, easy to watch, You don't have to be paying attention to what's on screen. Like, that's one of the common themes of here. That's why you don't see a lot of action movies or even some comedies on a list like this for me. It's because, like, an action movie, you actually have to be watching what's on screen, and it kind of makes it less rewatchable because you can't be, like, on your phone watching it. You can't be, like, having it in the background while you clean or cook or do anything that you need to do around the home. Whereas a movie like Moneyball, you can. And there's just all these great scenes with great dialogue that is just, it's perfect for. And now the final two. I went back and forth on these of which one I think's actually my most watched. But we got Michael Clayton. Michael Clayton, written by Tony Gilroy, who did Andor. He won an Oscar for it. It's fantastic. I love that movie. It's part of the reason I love Andor. It's Clooney with just a fantastic script and fantastic acting. In the final movie is Spy Game. Tony Scott, Ridley Scott's more consistent brother, who just did a ton of fantastic action movies. In Spy Game, it's Redford, it's Brad Pitt, it's spies, it's a procedural, and it's just this fun movie that I've watched constantly. Just every couple years, I'll watch it like a couple times, including like when Robert Redford just died. Definitely watched Spy Game 2 or 3 times in succession. Now, there's probably some other movies that missed the list. If we included the 2000s, there's like 5 movies that would have made the list from the 2000s. Or from 2000. But we had to not include them. Because if we had like Fight Club, if we expanded to 2000, which doesn't count, that movie, I've watched Fight Club a ton. Alright, what do we got here? Let's do Empire. Empire's easy, well controlling counter here. But what I was thinking through is, like, if we expand the list further, there's probably The Suicide Squad. I love that movie. But it's a little new, so I don't think I've watched it as much as... Oh, you know what? Oh no, the bomber's right there. We're going to bring in the Interceptor, because I just want to mess up some of this. Let's stay focused on the Fortress, though. Now they're going to cleanse and bring the deflector shield back. I'm going to get rid of it again. We kind of need to do some more damage before the comeuppance shows up, though. Let's pull turn meter away. Oh, man. It is... I'm going to hit the Falcon. Awesome. I was kind of hoping that would happen. I didn't think it was, though. Because now the comeuppance is going to come out and going to hurt us. It would have hurt worse, though, if... What's-it was still around. Okay, here we go. Now we can stun. We're probably going to lose the bomber right here. Once Poe goes... Unless Poe does the turn meter ability. Nope. And then I was thinking, like, what Marvel movie would have been in there? It's just... And I don't think I've rewatched them too many times. Because most of them, I think, are really average. And, like, the ones that I like the most, like Winter Soldier, I don't think I've watched that many times. I haven't actually rewatched many of the Star Wars movies too many times. Given a long enough arc, I think Solo. It's just a little recent. I think maybe Deadpool could get there, or Deadpool 2 really. I think Deadpool 2 is better. But it's another one I think I've probably watched 2 or 3 times. It's just not really that rewatched. I think Logan will get there given enough time, but it's not been enough time. And then I honestly can't think of what other Marvel movie would be on the list I would consider, like the Batman. Before I'm dead, the Batman is probably going to be on the list of like just most watched. But it hasn't been enough time. And it's too long. It's way too long for like a rewatching thing because it really drags in the middle. As much as I like Superman, I don't think it's going to be on the list. It's a good movie that the plot is too simplistic. It's too basic. It's not interesting enough where I don't think it's going to hold up to a lot of rewatches. Like there was a discount on Superman during the holidays for a digital version, like a digital 4K version. And I passed on it because I was just like, I don't think I'm going to actually rewatch it that much. I think I'll rewatch scenes, but not the movie. All right, we're going to have to check back in the morning to see how we did. I think this is competitive. We dropped a few battles, but he doesn't have a depth of crons that maybe we'll see. We still got an hour and a half left, so my opponent could still technically do more. But at this point, we can call it. My defense has done enough work where even if he clears from this point, I still win. So in the lower territory, we have Maz Kanata taking 4 attempts to go down. Really enjoying those crons, gonna miss him. In the back territory, we got Pirate Hondo here taking 2 attempts. Jedi Mace Windu taking 2 attempts. I'm glad I finally remembered that Temple Guardian had a Grand Arena Ami that I could put on because it boosts a lot of stats. It's really worth it. It's just, I didn't put it on immediately because without Mace Windu, it's a useless Ami. So, and then I forgot about it. I probably should have just put it on right away, but maybe I was low on Amis at the time. And then in the top territory, we have Saw Gerrera taking 4 attempts before going down. And then Cadme here, he didn't attempt, but gave up, or probably has given up after that attempt. He may have not had any remaining counters. And really a Cadme squad, there aren't that many teams that can beat it. You have a number of GLs, you got a couple other after that point. You have like Gas, Great Mother, Bane, not really too many teams, and he probably used most of those other counters up against the rest of the defense. But well played. I'm glad we finally had an opponent really attack me this season, because the first couple matches we weren't able to draw any conclusions, feel out how my defense is performing for the rest of the season. And next week we're going to have even better crons. We're going to be rolling more stats. We're going to have the Stranger. We'll take him up to some level, maybe put on probably 2 Amis. I'll have to investigate a little further. And then we'll be dropping more tokens, so we'll have more squads available, more characters available at some higher and more favorable positions. So we're going to be boosting up along the way. We'll have a roster video coming out about that in probably a couple days. I'll probably try and put that out before next season's videos. So thanks for watching. Be excellent to each other, everybody. This is Still Plays Galaxy of Heroes.